The only life you have ever known, the only life I have ever known, I'm 42, the only life we've ever known, no matter your age, is this. America can spend whatever we want. You realize how crazy that is for virtually every other country on the planet and every country in the history of the planet? We spend whatever we want. And just like that drunken athlete, we don't even think about the cost or overspending or that it may end one day because of this. Because our credit rating and the value of our dollar has been so stellar, and we've always had so much money coming in, it has given us the freedom to just spend way more than we make every year. No one even bats an eye about it. No one bats an eye about it at all. Here's the problem, though. To do that, to keep spending money without end, you must have the rest of the world agree that your money is stable, that your financial situation is stable. And if we ever get to a place where the world doesn't think that's the case anymore, you and I are about to see a reduction in our standard of living like you've never seen in your lifetime. If America has to start doing what other nations do, and that's live within its means, it's bankruptcy time, baby. And it's time to start opening up our eyes. Fitch, one of these major groups, just downloaded our credit rating from AAA to AA. Now, what does that mean? Well, you have a credit score. I have a credit score. Let's say your credit score is 700 or 750. That's a great credit score. 750. You pay all your bills on time, and you walk into a bank and you want a loan with the 750 credit score. You're going to get the best loan rates they have to offer. Welcome in, Mr. Burns. Here's 3% for you. Good work. If you walk into that same bank with a 600 credit score, they might say, Mr. Burns, you can't have a loan for anything. Or they'll say, oh, we'll give you a loan, Mr. Burns, for 15%. That's us as a nation right now. As the world watches us spend out of control, the world is looking on and they're saying, maybe America isn't that great financially anymore. And if only somebody could have seen something like this coming. The GOP lined up for the last 4 years, and voted yes, and voted yes, and voted yes, and voted yes on multiple, massive spending bills. Truth is, no one cares. And no one's going to care until the whole house of cards come crashing down. And everyone's going to look around and they're going to say, well, how'd this happen? How'd this happen? Well, here's the hard truth of it. Talk about making you uncomfortable. Here's the hard truth of it. When that happens, you and I will both have to go look in the mirror and say, that's on me. I never demanded better. So I never got better. You get what you get. Don't throw a fit. And here we are, facing it. The truth is that Democrats and Republicans both spend like drunken sailors. And this is the craziest part about this whole thing. This is the craziest part about where we're going. We'll get to the Fed in a minute, credit rating wise and recession wise and interest rates and dollars. But the craziest thing is this. What I'm talking about when it comes to debt, the national debt getting too high, countries deciding they don't want to loan us money anymore, the deflation of the dollar. But you know what? Let's stick with the debt for a minute. The national debt is not an opinion thing. What I just said is not an opinion. It is a mathematical fact. We know what exponential growth is. As we pile on too much debt, it is a fact. If we don't stop doing that, we're going to get too much interest on the debt. We won't even be able to cover the interest payments. The second we can't keep paying our bills with a dollar that's worth something, credit rating goes down, your standard of living disappears, my standard of living disappears. What I just said is not an opinion. It's a mathematical fact. The car is driving towards the cliff. It is driving 100 miles per hour towards the cliff. There is no guardrail. It's all downhill and open pavement until the cliff's end. It is a guarantee that car is going off the cliff and everyone in it's going to die. And having said that, Republicans and Democrats in Congress, the House, Senate, and presidents Everyone from Joe Biden to Donald Trump to Barack Obama to George Bush to Bill Clinton to all of them. They signed bill after bill after bill after bill guaranteeing that car goes Thelma and Louise right off the cliff. It's a guarantee. And no one cares right now. Shoot, you probably barely care as you sit there watching. Everyone just spends and spends and spends as if that retirement day for that pro athlete's never going to come. But you don't stay young forever, and it comes. Oh, did I mention? Here's what the Atlanta Fed had to say.
I'm not expecting this to be, a 2-month or a 3-month period. My outlook is that we'll still be in a restrictive territory well into 2024, and it'll just take a while for the inflationary pressures that we've seen over the last year and a half to fully dissipate and get us back to 2%.
Another year and a half, don't worry, you're already suffering 18% inflation. The feds are spending like drunken sailors. Just another year and a half and maybe we'll get things back under control. So how's the system handling this? How's your world-class media handling this? Are they out there saying, hey, I know we're Democrats or I know we're Republicans, but we finally need some spending cuts, not reduction on the spending increases. We need actual spending cuts to avoid catastrophe, to avoid the car going off the ledge. Oh, no. They're all running on TV, defending Joe Biden, telling you how wonderful things are.
I do think the economy is going to be a huge asset. Biden has been maybe too reticent, too modest to take credit. But I mean, where we've come since the depths of the pandemic is an astounding recovery story. Astounding.
According to what I'm observing, the economy is booming. Yeah. Inflation is down. The stock market is doing well. People are having an easier time putting bread on the table, etc. He doesn't seem to be getting the credit for that.
And you know what the wildest thing about all this is? This is okay, that was all a lot to take in. I realize that. But this part is the wildest part to me. When that day comes, I think it'll probably be in my lifetime, Lord willing, not shortly, but it could be. But when that day comes, remember, it's inevitable. The car's heading towards a cliff. Whether it's my life, my kid's life, their kid's life, whatever, it's coming. The day's coming. When that car goes zoom, what should happen is the people who've run the country, the Democrats and Republicans who've spent us into disaster, who've run the country, they should, in that moment, have a joint press conference where they all stand side by side on the television set and they tell you how sorry they are and this is our fault and, oh, how could we do this? But, call me cynical. I think when that day finally gets here, they're just going to blame something else and half the public will go along with it. You know what they're blaming high gas prices on right now? Just watch this. This is probably what they'll do when the debt takes us off the cliff.
Have you noticed a recent surge in gas prices this summer? Join the club. You're not alone. The national average price of a gallon of regular is now $3.83. That's about 30 cents more than it was just a month ago. One big factor might surprise you. It seems this summer's extreme heat is playing a role.
You want to watch our special on George Washington? It's freaking awesome. Well, you can. All you have to do is become a First TV supporter. That gives you access to all of our specials on demand, and it's cake. All you have to go to is thefirsttv.com/support. Thefirsttv.com/support. Become a supporter. Enjoy learning about George Washington.